And it is my pleasure to welcome Alaudin to Showbiz India. Greetings from LA. I believe you're in San Diego. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm getting used to this California weather. It's really nice.
And tell me, how is it going with your play, Dishwasher Dreams? It's a play based on your father's life. How are you feeling about this play?
Well, it's great. This is our West Coast premiere, so we've taken it in different places throughout the country, Chicago, Hartford. It was developed because I was doing all of this research for a film that I made, which is actually premiering in December, In Search of Bengali Harlem. And it was me going on this journey to figure out who my dad was and doing all this research and finding out that my father was part of this group of the first South Asian, specifically Bengali Muslims, who had left what is now Bangladesh to come to America on these steamships. They were working on these boats, and it left at what was then called India, and they arrived in places like London and in New York. And that group of Bengali Muslims, they came to Harlem and started opening up these restaurants. And so I didn't know too much about that background, and I uncovered this lost history. And with the help of my friend Vivek Ball, who wrote the book, In Search of Bengali Harlem, we made this film. And so I felt that there were all of these stories that we couldn't really dramatize because we didn't have enough time in the film. And I wanted to focus on this story called Dishwasher Dreams, which is what the show is about. The way that my father left, his village and came to America and in New York, then ultimately how I was born and had this crazy dream of wanting to be a comedian. And the irony is that I've never felt a connection to my parents because I felt like, they were fobs. I'm from New York. I grew up in hip hop and, was really into sports and I felt no connection to my parents. And the irony is that when I got into film and, did parts like American Daisy where I was Gautam, I was playing the fob. And so I felt, well, in defense of the people in Hollywood, they weren't going to write these nuanced stories. And, especially after COVID, I really missed that live performance. So I wanted to develop a show that wasn't just jokes, but had, layers of who these characters were.
My mother has this fear that I'm growing up too Americanized. Aladdin, why aren't you becoming a Muslim? This is part of our tradition. You must become a Muslim and put down the pork chop when I'm talking to you. I tell you to pick up a Quran. I tell you to read and study Muhammad. And all you can tell me is that he talks like a butterfly, he stings like a bee. This is all Muhammad.
It's fascinating in San Diego, which is very white, to see white audiences going, oh my God, I didn't know that's what South Asians have to experience. And then having the South Asians who are in the room, in that theater going, yeah, that's what we dealt with every day. And what's fascinating is, we get students from UCSD who are college age, but we also get the elders who are like my parents and grandparents' age, who are going, Beta, that is what we have been talking about. So for me, I'm loving it because we're getting all these different groups in a room. And it's different because in film, you're seeing it on a screen, the actor isn't there. But to experience it live and in person is just exhilarating because I can feel that when I'm on stage.
Come to the safest place in America. That's right, Spanish Harlem. What's that you say? You can't speak any English? Don't worry. Neither can anyone else in Spanish Harlem. My mom really relied on the neighbors because she couldn't speak English. So our neighbors really became like family for us.
Well, and as you mentioned, you felt disconnected with your parents at first, growing up feeling like they were fobs. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are in your shoes. So was this a paradigm shift in your relationship with your family when you were discovering and writing this?
Yeah, because if I could be honest, I'll give you an example. I was like 6 or 7 years old. It was the 70s. And my kalamas, my aunties and my uncles, they would be in the living room and they would say, we fought in 1971, for the right to speak our own language. And you don't speak Bangla. And I'd have my basketball and my baseball bat and say, are you finished, cha-cha, aunties? I got to go play a game. I got a 5-on-5 game outside. And they were like, just go. They would be so frustrated because, they wanted to share. And, we're kids from like hip hop. We were like, listen, we got to go to a party. Like, can you hurry it up?
Mama, can I please get these shell top Kareem Abdul-Jabbars? Did you say Farim Abdul Jabbar? Is he a Muslim? He is a Muslim. Mom, can I get them to only $19.99? That is a lot of money for a sneaker. But Mom, these are Muslim sneakers.
So what I want to do with this story is show the connection of like how we are, the umbilical cord is to the motherland. But we're so New York or LA and other places in Chicago, that young generation, like I think I connect to them because like, you know, we wanted to go to a club and, you know, talk to girls and hang out. We didn't want to hear all that 1947, 1971 stuff. So I feel like I'm bringing audience in by time traveling and becoming these characters and bringing them into India and Bangladesh and showing what they had to deal with. So it was like, you know, I wanted to kind of celebrate like their journey and what they had to sacrifice for us to just have the ability to like, you know, have this freedom.
I make the joke about how on Sundays I want to play my G.I. Joe doll with the Kung Fu grip. But instead, all my parents did was take me to Bollywood films on 59th Street.
And I'm sure that's why you're getting such rave reviews. We invite everyone to go to San Diego and watch your one-man show. Tell me, how is it performing nonstop for so long?
Well, this has been the biggest challenge for me because, you know, when we do the show, I developed it, you know, for a proscenium, you know, right facing the audience. But this is why I think audiences are so immersed in it, is when you do the round, the director that I have, the amazing Che Yu, he has me moving nonstop. And I wrote this show with this amazing virtuoso tabla percussionist, Avi Rod Sharma. Avi is a genius. You know, he studied with Zakir Hussain in India. So like we're getting like the heart of the tabla. But Avi has this unique style where he listens to hip hop and R&B. So he's got that fusion of like, you know, the original classical music from like the villages of India and Bangladesh. And it has that sweeping feel. So when I talk about going back to Bangladesh, the tabla takes us to Bangladesh. But then when we're talking about the Bronx or New York, he knows how to create that sound. So I feel like we've created no other show like this in American theater, and the reviewers have said that this is an original piece.
In Bollywood films, every time there's a scene where a man or a woman are about to kiss or make love, suddenly I don't know where they stop and start singing and dancing. I was trying to get to a Puerto Rican girl for 6 months when I was in Norman Thomas High. I finally got to go out with her on a date on 86th Street in the movie theater. I was about to make the moves on her.
So I really want like the audience to really come. We're going to be here till October 15th at the Old Globe at Balboa Park. It's one of the most beautiful theaters in America. So when it comes to architecture, just the sweeping beauty of this place is breathtaking. And I really feel, to toot my own horn, there's no show in American theater like this.
Well, Alaudin, your passion is absolutely palpable, and we look forward to seeing you on stage.
Well, graffiti gave us a voice and we were gonna be heard. And I was having a whole lot of fun. Up until the time I got arrested for vandalism. And my father came to pick me up at the 23rd precinct on 102nd Street. Alaudin, I never thought that when I leave my country, I would have to come to America to take my son out of jail. Haramzat for this garbage? It ain't garbage, Pop. It's graffiti. Besides, what you know, you just some fresh off the boat Uncle Tom dishwasher.